All right. We actually have all the pieces cut to the proper lengths. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and glue this piece of plywood to the back side. Again, could be a terrible idea or a great one. It might help keep the bench flat. It might mess it up because, you know, it stops it from moving. I don't really know. Well, I know you don't typically glue drawer fronts. Well, not drawer fronts, but drawer boxes if you have, or even cabinet doors themselves either. You know, if it's plywood and hardwood. But we'll see what happens. Some glue, some staples, the rest of the bench top and everything else, kind of locking everything together. Maybe she won't explode. About the bench top holes. Well, maybe I'll stop doing staples. I think that'd be enough. Probably should have thought about that. That's a whoopsie on my part. On the edge, or you know, so both of these edges are safe. So I should have probably did that at first and then let the glue handle everything in the middle, but it's all good. And now for this section over here, though, I can't use the 1¼ staples. I gotta switch to some of my 1/2" staples, and these will shoot all of this together. Alright, that's nice and thick. That's going to be solid. This whole bench top is going to be really, really heavy when we're done. But now we're looking at the side apron. Or the back apron, sorry. The front apron. Oh, let's just flip it around. And that goes flush there. This will be the stretcher, so then it gets attached to here, and then I'm going to run a stretcher system underneath the rest of this. And as far as the legs, I'm thinking and debating on probably cutting out a little section in here. Well, I'll be down here for this one. And then doing like a 1/2 lap joint where it laps in here. That'll keep it from racking this way. Then the rest of it can get glued to the back side. Or maybe I should just do a simple rabbet, have it 1/2 lap. I mean, not rabbet, but 1/2 lap. Let it lap over this, get glued and screwed here. And it's glued right here. And then my stretchers take care of everything else. Debating. That's the next step process. Figuring out how we're going to integrate all the legs and the stretchers and that joinery. But can't really flip it over to show you guys, but this will be the top. We have a tool tray back here on this side, and then this large working apron. And then when we slide her forward, we're going to have this large woodworking vise. Sitting right here. That will end up flush. The bars have plenty of room for travel. And when I end up shimming up this side of the vise to being flush, I mean the inside jaw to be flush, so yeah, this jaw right here is going to end up being flush with this, so I can run boards all the way across and clamp them into the vise. So long boards, if I'm edge joining or anything else, I have support via my bench dogs going all throughout here. And then I just got to think about, again, leg connections and leg structure. I'm probably going to end up doweling this on, and then my stretcher and everything else will screw to this and then tie into my legs. Then the next thing I want to think about is, you know, probably trimming these off at a 45 just to make that more aesthetic. Things of that nature is probably going to be the last things I dial into. But this is the underside of my hand tool bench as of now. Alright, I'm going to pause the video and do a little bit more thinking. Then I'll get back to you guys when I figure out my next steps.